Hi, my name is Caitlin, and we're going to talk a little bit about media bias today. Now, news outlets, they're expected to be objective and balanced when it comes to their reports and their opinions, mainly because they have a strong influence on the community that they serve and how people perceive the world around them. Now, media bias has been around for ages. It's especially political bias, it's been around ever since the printing press was invented. It's not going anywhere, it's here to stay, so that's why it's really important to talk about. There are a lot of different reasons why media bias exists, and one of the main reasons is caused by the underlying political and socioeconomic viewpoints. Basically, what is the agenda that these publications are trying to push? What is the mindset that they're trying to create? Another reason for political bias is, what can maximize profits? Money. And it's pretty much driven by what the reader wants to see and hear. Power and money is one of the two main reasons why we see political bias in the world today. There are a lot of incentives for politicians, political parties, and actors involved with politics when it comes to trying to push, certain content, and there's also a lot of marketing incentives as well. Modern social media platforms are reconstructing the way people consume political information. We are seeing an increase in media bias due to the fact of technological advancements and the increased usage of social media platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Now, being able to reach a wide variety of people in a short amount of time just by sharing content, creating content, and networking socially are some of the main functions of social media. Now, as great as social media is to connect with people and escape from reality, it has its downfalls too. And built in these social media platforms is this algorithmic system, which pretty much allows the consumer to filter and customize what content that it's being exposed to, either indirectly or directly. Sometimes the system just does it on its own. This pretty much creates this type of tunnel, this information cocoon that pretty much validates the consumer's predisposition, and this can cause huge polarization and lack of, information from other sides and other opinions as well, which in itself is a huge bias. Media bias comes in all different shapes and forms. It's not just the news station that you watch, nor the newspaper that you read anymore. As a matter of fact, many people claim that they don't follow politics, when in reality, pop culture is politics. And it is indirectly integrated in movies, television shows, music, entertainment, and professional sports. What we see of it as entertainment is actually carefully crafted pieces of propaganda designed to influence its audience at the same time as entertain them. We don't realize, when we're being exposed to it, there's a lot of indirectness and subconscious innuendos, in these different forms of media. But as a society, we tend to think and act a certain way based on what we see and hear. And this can affect the mindset and behavior of all of us. In conclusion, it's really important to be educated about media bias, because there's two sides to every story. Not everything you see and hear has truth to it. So being able to recognize the bias, being able to take into consideration every time you're exposed to any sort of content will help you look past emotion and criticism and finding truth in any sort of dialogue. And this in itself will help counteract bias. So do your research.